Hi, my name is Morgan West. My project is an analysis of flooding hazards for a small town in Tennessee. My project question is, what locations should emergency services in this small town choose to shelter those affected in the event of a flood? Now, to answer this question, I had to gather some data. So you can see on this first slide, I've got in the top left U.S. Census Bureau census tract. It's a census tract shapefile of Tennessee. And to the right of that, you can see a green polygon that represents the county that my small town is located in. And then in the top right, you can see the green polygon and the yellow polygon. Again, the green polygon represents the county, and the yellow polygon represents the census tracts that make up the small town. Now, there is also in the middle left data from the Tennessee government website that is a mass list of Tennessee city boundaries. And then to the right of that is some FEMA National Flood Hazard Layer data for my county. Now, in the next step, I will be clipping this down, and I wanted to showcase that with the screenshot at the bottom that shows the yellow polygon overlaying the FEMA data. So in step 2, I clipped my data and I stylized it. So in the top left again, there is the Tennessee government city boundaries. That got clipped down to just my small town. That's in the middle at the top. And then on the top right side, there is nearly all of the clipped data. This includes FEMA data for roads, the Tennessee River, water sources, a rail line. In the middle, the large orange polygon is FEMA's entire multi-polygon of the different flood zones. So I had to break that down, and I wanted to showcase that with the middle right image. Might be a little hard to see, but there is a red section and a green section. The red section represents the 1% annual flood chance, and the green section represents the 0.2% annual flood chance. Then at the bottom left to bottom right, each one from left to right zooms in a little more to showcase the clipped data and how I stylized it. So for ease of viewing, the bottom right showcases the 1% annual flood zone in light blue, the 0.2% chance annual flood zone in cyan. The red striped polygons are for the floodways that are created to take floodwaters if it does flood. And then in the background there is a portion of the Tennessee River and the city boundary. In step 3, I needed to import data from OpenStreetMaps, which I did with QuickOSM. So the data that I snagged from OpenStreetMaps included state routes for major roads, emergency service data such as police stations, fire stations, and hospitals, possible shelter locations, which I chose hotels, churches, and schools or universities. And as in step 2, this data has been clipped. All of my data will end up being clipped to that yellow polygon that represented the census tracts that made up the town. So in the top left, you can see the my mapping queue just before I added my OSM data, and then to the right of that top left map, you can see the inclusion of the state routes. At the middle left, you can see a symbol for the Ray Medical Center. It is the only hospital near the small town. Skipping over the middle, because the middle is the entirety. I just want to hit some points on the surrounding images. The right side screenshot shows a hotel, and the my bottom left image showcases schools and universities. It does also show the police and fire stations, but I was trying to get a good sample of schools and universities in the area. The bottom image is of just the police stations and fire station in the town. And the bottom right image is of churches, which are represented with praying figures with yellow. And the center image, as I mentioned earlier, details a little hard to see, but it shows all of the symbols I collected from OpenStreetMaps. So in step 4, I needed to calculate the percentage of the flood zone within the city boundaries. So I had to make a slight assumption here that the top left showcases the 1% annual flood zone, as well as the 0.2% chance annual flood zone. The middle top image only showcases the difference of the 0.2% chance annual flood zone that FEMA created. So I made an assumption that in the 0.2% chance annual flood zone, it would take up the 1% chance flood zone as well as the additional area. So that is what the top right image showcases, is the entirety. I believe in my report I refer to it as the whole 0.2% annual flood chance zone. Flood zone chance. The large bottom left image is the calculated percentage of the 1% annual chance.